Nigel, morning. How would you best describe the last week of football? The League Two match at Swindon on Saturday and last night in the Papa John's Trophy at Harrogate.
A bit frustrating, certainly Saturday at Swindon, where we had controlled large parts of the game, created the vast majority of chances, 7 corners to their none, and we end up a bit unlucky, very unlucky really, losing the game. We didn't make the most of our chances and situations, certainly, but we're not getting helped. I think we've had a major decision or two go against us in each one of the last 4 games now.
Just moving aside from the football, let's wrap up the business conducted yesterday. I know you spoke to Ryan Johnson last night after the game at Harrogate, but just expanding on the 2 new defenders. What will Forrester and Narty give you perhaps that you've not got in defence at this moment?
Well, they'll give us some much needed cover, first of all, and also vie for a starting place. Losing James Perch for an indefinite period has been a huge blow for us, so we definitely needed to strengthen that area. Ideally would have liked a little bit more experience there, but we just missed out on a couple that we've been working on, but we got these 2 lads in the background and just pressed the button on them when we didn't get the others.
Let's speak about Narty firstly. You had him at Burton Albion. What was he like for you there?
He did very well, coming out for his first loan from Chelsea. Been at Chelsea is one of those for sort of 10 years or so as a youngster, so you know he's had good grounding, a good upbringing in terms of football, having been around such a great club. So he came out, did really well for us at Burton in League One, then sort of didn't have a club for a while, ended up at Burnley from last November, where he's played some 23 games, but most importantly he's trained with the first team. And anybody who's been around Burnley's first team and the way that they play and train, and I spoke to Sean Dyche about him, said they really like him and they've been impressed. And he said most importantly, he said the first team like him, which when you're a young player coming into that sort of Premier League squad, it's very, very important to impress your teammates.
And is Narty ready to be thrown straight into the starting 11?
Yeah, he's certainly in with a shout. We're going to just find out what games he's played, how many minutes he's played in the last few weeks, and see how he looks in training today and Friday.
And what about Forrester? He's out, just for confirmation, is he for around about 2 weeks with that ankle injury?
Yes, yeah, he's had it since pre-season, so we'll be very much guided by Stoke. He's going to stay there to do his rehab until he's ready to actually join in sessions, maybe do his first 1 or 2 at Stoke, make sure he's all okay. But the deal's structured so we don't start paying until he's fit anyway. But he's another good young centre-half. He's played a couple of times for Stoke's first team. We think he's got a lot of potential, so he's another one that will come in, be around the squad and challenge for a place.
Just on the others that you mentioned that didn't come off, how disappointed were you?
Yeah, we were quite disappointed. We lost out. One, the club changed their mind, so we can't do anything about that. We'd agreed terms and everything and with the player, and the club wouldn't let him go. And secondly, we lost out to a League One club. The player went to a League One club, another one, obviously much bigger resources than us.
Looking at your squad now, that's it until January, unless of course you sign a free agent, which you can do. But aside from that possibility, the squad is cemented. How satisfied are you with the balance of it?
I think numbers-wise, it's good. It's good now where we are. We just still like that experience. I think at the back, even more so after losing Perchy. But something we'll have to get through. But there is still that option. There's 1 or 2 free agents out there that we're looking at the moment for some more experience back there. So we'll see how that goes in the next week or so. But I think generally happy with our goalkeepers. You know, it's a very important department, especially the 3 youngsters. I think they're all around 21. Younger. George Shelby got 90 minutes under his belt last night. Nathan Bishop's been brilliant. And I think the emergence of Owen Mason has been wonderful. He's been training with the first team most times. He's away on international duty at the moment. So that's been a big bonus in that department for us. So defensively need a little bit more. Midfield, happy. Miss Ryan Stirk when he was unavailable, certainly. But happy with the options in there. And we know we've got the 4 or 5 forward options as well. So balance, I think balance is good of the squad.
Stirk still isolating?
Yes, I think he's back Friday. But he has had symptoms not since Saturday, so What we found with the lads that have had symptoms when they've had it earlier on is that they do struggle a little bit for the first few days when they come back training. So we'll see how he feels Friday.
Just going back to the possibility of signing a free agent, quite surprising, isn't it, don't you think, that there are so many free agents available?
Yes and no. I think obviously the pandemic has left a lot of people, players, without clubs. So there's quite a few. It's just getting one good one amongst those. But there are, and you always used to be, I've got to get fixed up as a player before the window. Now you're not in too bad a position if the window shuts and you're still a free agent. You're in a stronger position in some ways.
Why is that?
Well, because people know they can't sign anybody else but free agents. They can't go and get loans, they can't get any permanents in. So all of a sudden this pool, if anybody gets an injury in the next week or two, or like us, they're looking for some experience, then that's the only pool you can pick from.
Last question about the transfer deadline day business. Were there any inquiries for any of your players, potential outgoings?
Possibles, but nothing firm in the end. We had one or two earlier in the window, which we turned down. We wanted to try and keep the squad intact and add to it if possible. But only one or two sort of slight rumours and things, but nothing firm in the end.